The part is, he did not stay dead. But bright early Sunday morning, he got up with all power in his hands. I got no witness. I'm going to my seat, but I thought I was an all right person. I thought I was good down in my soul until I realized that there was a time in my life where I had anger. See, I ain't talking about you, but I'm talking about me too, so you can't get mad. When I was growing up in the church, in the Morning Star Baptist Church in Roanoke, Virginia, we grew up poor, Pastor, and didn't know we were poor. Well, my mama and my daddy, they were always givers to the church, and they were always givers to the pastor. Sometimes we didn't have enough to put ample food in the house, but Mom would always and Dad would always bless for a pastor, and I would always ask them, why would you bless them when we need a blessing in the house? Well, when our pastor's son, he graduated from high school, I needed some things, I needed some summer clothes and shoes, and I told my mama I needed it, but she said, we don't have the money. But that same Friday, when she got paid, she was at the kitchen table writing out her bills, and there was a check that she made to the pastor's son for his graduation in the amount of $100. Well, she said, son, I want you to take this check to the pastor's house and give it to Eric for his graduation. I said, Mama, why in the world would you give him $100 when we ain't got enough money to put food on the table? Why in the world would you give them all of this money when we ain't got money ourselves? I began to get angry down in my soul, but my mama said something very profound to me. She said, son, the reason why I give money to the pastor, the reason why I give money to the church, and the reason why I gave the pastor's son that $100 was because I never know where my nappy-head children are going to end up. And I hope that the same blessing that I'm giving to somebody else, that God would touch somebody's heart to bless my nappy-head children. And so I was walking in anger and didn't realize that God was opening doors for me that I couldn't even see yet. And so when I decided to go back to college about 5 years ago to get my graduate degree, God told me and my wife, he said, you sell your house, you and your wife go back to school. Your wife quit work. She made more money than I made, and I was wondering how were we going to make it. Well, when I applied for financial aid, all of the money was there to pay my way through. Well, we sold our house, Pastor, and didn't have nowhere to live. The house was on the market for 21 days, and I got $20,000 more than what I asked for, but I didn't have nowhere to live. And so one night after Bible study, I went to CVS to buy me some toiletries, and I walked in CVS, and a woman came up to me. She said, are you the Reverend? I said, which Reverend? She said, are you Reverend Whitfield? I said, yes. She said, does your daddy live in Roanoke? I said, yes, he does. She said, every Friday afternoon, your daddy stops by the nursing home and prays for my mama. He don't even know my mama, but he stops by and prays for her every Friday afternoon. She said, I just bought the nicest townhomes in Martinsville, Virginia. They're 3-bedroom and 3 baths. Got a living room, den, dining room, and kitchen. And if you know anybody who's looking for somewhere to live, you let me know. I said, I'm looking for somewhere to live. She said, well, here. She went into a pocketbook and pulled out 5 sets of keys, and all of them had the unit numbers on them. She said, these 5 out of the 38 are empty, and you can pick out whichever one you want. But wait a minute, she said, you pay me only what you can afford. Don't stretch yourself, but pay me only what you can afford. And my mind went back to my anger, and my mind went back to my mama. She said, I never know where my children are going to end up, but I thank God that I had a mama who was standing in the gap for me, who understood that through this life some challenges would come, but I thank God when you stay hooked up with him, he'll bless you in ways you'll never discover. I'm so glad that when I did not know where I would end up, the Lord did. Is there anybody here that didn't know where you were going to end up? But God, some way, somehow,